In 2011, Latoya Ammons and her 3 children moved into a rental house at 3860 Carolina Street in Gary, Indiana. They were seeking a fresh start. They found a nightmare.
The house, a modest one-story dwelling, seemed ordinary from the outside, but inside, a darkness festered, an evil that would soon make headlines and terrify a nation.
Latoya, a hard-working single mother, wanted a safe and stable home for her family. The house on Carolina Street, unfortunately, offered no such haven. Almost immediately, the family began experiencing strange occurrences. Doors slammed shut on their own. Footsteps echoed in the dead of night. The air grew heavy, thick with an unseen menace.
I initially dismissed these events as my imagination, or the settling of an old house. I tried to rationalize the growing unease that permeated our new home. But as the days turned into weeks, the strange happenings intensified. They became too frequent, too disturbing to ignore. Something was terribly wrong.
Whispers, barely audible at first, began to drift from the shadows. The children, more sensitive to the unseen world, were the first to notice. They spoke of voices calling their names from darkened corners. They described fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures darting just beyond sight. Fear began to take root in their young hearts.
Objects moved mysteriously around the house, as if manipulated by unseen hands. Toys clattered to the floor in empty rooms. Furniture seemed to shift positions overnight. I, a woman of strong faith, tried to find solace in prayer, but the disturbances continued, growing bolder, more menacing.
The air inside the house grew colder, even in the summer heat. A palpable chill settled over the family, a constant reminder that they were not alone. Latoya felt a growing sense of dread, an overwhelming feeling that something sinister was lurking in the shadows, watching them, toying with them. The strange occurrences soon escalated into full-blown paranormal assaults. The children, their innocent eyes reflecting growing terror, became the focus of the entity's attention. They exhibited signs of possession, their voices changing, their eyes taking on a chilling, otherworldly gleam.
One of my children, a young boy, began walking up walls in a trance-like state, an act that defied the laws of gravity and sanity. He would speak in tongues, his voice a guttural rasp that sent shivers down the spines of those who witnessed it. My maternal instinct screamed in horror, realizing that the situation had spiraled far beyond anything I could handle alone.
The entity grew bolder, its power increasing with each passing day. Scratches appeared on the children's bodies, marks that seemed to materialize from thin air. Unexplained noises echoed throughout the house, banging doors, disembodied screams, and the gut-wrenching sound of children crying in the dead of night. The house on Carolina Street had become a battleground between the earthly realm and something far more sinister. Desperate for help, Latoya reached out to anyone who would listen. She contacted the police, reporting the strange occurrences and the terrifying effect they were having on her children. Initially skeptical, the officers soon became witnesses to the unexplainable.
We witnessed objects moving on their own, heard the disembodied voices, and felt the chilling cold that permeated the house.
Child Protective Services, CPS, was also called in, their involvement adding another layer of official recognition to the horrifying events unfolding within the walls of 3860 Carolina Street.
Social workers, accustomed to dealing with the harsh realities of child neglect and abuse, found themselves confronted with something they couldn't explain, something that defied their training and challenged their understanding of the world.
The house on Carolina Street, once a symbol of hope for a fresh start, had become a prison of fear. Latoya and her children, trapped in a nightmare they couldn't escape, were at the mercy of an entity that seemed to feed on their terror, growing stronger with each passing day. The nightmare was far from over.